All right. Let me just make sure that it is, yeah. Okay. 18th chapter is where we are at, and we have completed 53 shlokas last Thursday. Today we will do two more beautiful shlokas, very beautiful ones. Let me first start chanting it and translating it, and then I will explain where we are, how we are continuing from the 53rd shloka onwards. 54. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. Established in identity with Brahma, who is truth, consciousness, and bliss solidified, and cheerful in mind, the Sankhya yogi no longer grieves nor craves for anything. The same to all beings, such a yogi attains supreme devotion to me. So those of you who have been attending the last couple of Thursdays, you'll know that we did shloka 51 to 53 over the last two Thursdays. And in these beautiful shlokas, Bhagwan was describing the 12-step process of making a seeker eligible for attaining Brahmahood, for attaining self-realization. And very systematically, the 12 steps were explained. Now the next shlok, which is today's shlok 51, Bhagwan is describing the Jnani. He's describing the one who has attained self-realization. Now, if you'll remember, some of you were there when we studied the 7th Adhyay. In that Adhyay, in Shlok 16, Bhagwan explains or enumerates rather the 4 kinds of devotees that would be seeking Bhagwan for different reasons. So the first one is the one who is seeking Bhagwan for attaining worldly possessions. Okay, that Bhagwan calls that artharthi. You need some things, you are in need of some objects, some whatever your desires may be, you will seek Bhagwan, and Bhagwan is there for fulfilling your wishes. Then the second is called the afflicted or artha. This is a person who is facing some terrible difficulties, some sorrow, some distress, some terrible tragedy, some big upheaval in his life or her life, and he is approaching Bhagwan to either remove the sorrow or maybe to make him more able to face the sorrow. Then comes the third kind of devotee, who is the seeker of knowledge, the jigyasu. He wants to know about things. He wants to know what the scriptures say. He wants to learn everything that there is to learn in the spiritual realm. And finally comes the fourth devotee, who is the man of knowledge, the jnani. And Bhagwan says in the very next shlok after that, in shlok 17 of Adhyay 7, he says, of all these 4, the man of knowledge, that means the jnani, who is endowed with constant steadfastness and one-pointed devotion. The man of knowledge is one who has constant steadfastness and one-pointed devotion, excels. Means he is the best of all the 4 kinds of devotees. So today's shloka is describing that jnani, that man of knowledge, who Bhagwan is calling Brahma Bhut. That's the word used in this shloka. One who is established in identity with Brahma. How did he come to be established in identity with Brahma? Of course, he followed those 12-step process. All those 12 steps, he did his Shravan, he did his Manan, And after that, he mastered his Nididhyasan. And then he got the firm conviction, the nishtha. He got established. I am Brahma. There is no more confusion in his mind or doubt of his true identity. And such a person would have negated all the limitations that make a person think that they are just limited human beings. The body, the mind, the intellect, the pranas, the gunas, the organs of perception, the organs of action, all these are just limited upadhis that are preventing us from seeing our true self. So this man of knowledge, he has followed that 12-step process, and now he is free from all these upadhis. Systematically, he has cleansed his antakaran of all the delusions, of all the impurities, and now he stands as a Brahma Bhuta. So in this shloka, Bhagavan is describing the characteristics, the traits of a Brahma Bhut. So the first characteristic is Prasannatma. I've told you before also, Atma doesn't only mean Atma soul, it also can mean mind. So here, pure-minded. Prasannatma, pure-minded. Of course, in your book, it is translated as cheerful, but I don't think that's the correct translation. It means purity of mind, pure-minded. Now, with all the sadhanas that he has done, you remember the Shat Sampati, Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan. With all these spiritual wealths, sadhanas, he has managed to get rid of all his avguns, all the things that have, which disturb the antakaran, kam, krodh, lobh, moh, mad, matsarya. See, when a person is sitting in meditation, all these impurities, which is called mal, create vikshep. They create vrittis, they create thoughts in the mind, and the mind is unable to be in constant steadfastness. It needs to be continuously focused on the Supreme. So this Brahma Bhut is described as Prasanna Atma. All avguns cleared out, cleansed. Second characteristic, Bhagavan says, is na shochati, does not grieve. So why do people grieve? If you think about it, grief or sorrow comes from a loss. When something that you had is lost, you feel grief, you feel sorrow. That means grief and sorrow is always connected to the past. So this person who is now Brahma Bhut, no longer limited as a mortal human being, he is now established in Brahma. What would he grieve when he has found the ultimate bliss? So he's not going to worry about anything in the past. Na shochati. And after that, third, na kangshati. Na kangshati means no more desires left. Why would he have any desires left? What cravings would he have? What would he want that he doesn't already have? He has the highest bliss. There are no more dreams. There are no more aspirations. There are no more ambitions. There are no more desires. There's nothing left in his bucket list. The bucket and everything is gone. So, na shochati is about the past, and na kangshati is about the future. He is neither grieving about the past, nor he is desiring anything in the future, because he is right here, right now, in the moment, established in Brahma with a pure mind. These are the three characteristics. And there is a fourth. Fourth one is sama sarveshu bhuteshu. He sees every being with the same standard. Earlier also we did this point. He looks at everyone equally. Whatever applies to him applies to every human being. Whatever is good for him is good for others. If it's not good for him, it's not good for others. Same standard, no double standards. And he looks at everyone with love, looks at everyone with compassion. He doesn't have any special place for any one person. People normally have a soft spot for so and so and a soft spot for so and so, and they treat so and so with a little more love and another one with little less, but not the Brahma Bhut. Brahma Bhut, who is established in Brahma, treats everyone equally. He is equipoised. So there are four cat traits, okay? Prasanna Atma, na shochati, na kangshati, sama sarveshu bhuteshu. Now, a person who has these characteristics, who has these traits, who is established in Brahma, what does he attain? What is the benefit of all this? See, everyone wants to know what will he get after doing all this, tapasya and all this work on himself. What will he get? Bhagwan says, Mad Bhaktim Param. What will he attain? Labhate. What will he attain? He will attain supreme devotion to me. Supreme devotion. So, what exactly is this supreme devotion that Bhagwan is talking about? When he is steadfast in knowledge, his mind will be continuously in the self. Even though he may be doing all the actions in the world, even though he may be deeply busy, engrossed in any work, in his mind, there is a substratum in his mind also, aham brahmasmi. And with that, being so completely established there with no chance of shifting out of that consciousness, what he's going to get is supreme devotion. It is the fruit of self-realization. You're uninterruptedly in the state of realizing aham brahmasmi. And not only aham brahmasmi, but tattvamasi, you are also that. The same feeling that he will have towards the bliss of the self, he will experience that bliss for everyone else. That he will know that that same bliss remains in everyone else, although they may not have yet recognized it as their true nature. Therefore, when he sees everyone in their true nature as Brahma, then all his actions in the world, which he will be doing for others, will be considered as his puja. It will be considered as his worship. It will be considered as his devotion, as his offering to the Supreme Self, which is present in everyone and which the Jnani recognizes. And this way of worship, by worshipping the supreme, unexplainable, invisible self, divine self in all, we call that para bhakti. Para bhakti. And such a jnani who can see that tattva in each and every one, that person is Jivan Mukta. So what is he attaining with all this? He's attaining through supreme devotion. He's attaining Jivan Mukti, freedom while living in the body itself. And this is beautifully explained in one of my favorite verses in Aparoksh Anubhuti. I will just read the translation for you. You know that it was written by Bhagwan Shankaracharya. Now, let me read it out to you. When the vision becomes filled with jnana, when the mind has glided beyond the senses and has entered the realm of pure consciousness, it absorbs that realization and floods out through the senses only to behold the same self everywhere. When such a one looks at the world, he looks at it as the Atma. That is supreme devotion, para bhakti, which you attain after the 12-step process, which was described from 51 to 53. The next shlok also continues a little bit about this para bhakti. But if you just analyze what this shloka is telling you, it is starting with knowledge. And through knowledge, it has taken you to para bhakti. Did you get that? Through knowledge, you have achieved Bhagwan through bhakti. Now let us see how Bhagwan explains the next shloka. It's also very, very beautiful. Let's read it first. 55. Bhaktya mama bhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha tato mam tattvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. Through that supreme devotion, he comes to know me in reality, what and who I am, and thereby knowing me truly, he forthwith merges into my being. Devotion and love. What is the difference? Devotion is towards the Supreme Being. Love is towards a person or towards a thing. Bhaktya, this word, what happens with devotion and what happens with love? Bhaktya, what is happening through supreme devotion? Para bhakti. Bhagwan says, through this devotion, abhijanati, he comes to know me. Let us understand this love and how does love take you to know? Anyone who has been a mother or has seen a mother with her child, you will have understood that a mother who loves her child, her infant child, her small child so much that just by the mood of the child, just by the crying of the child, just by the tantrum also of the child, the mother understands what the child wants, right or wrong? The love of the mother helps the mother understand the child without the child having to say anything. Yeah. A guru, for example, loves her shishyas. And because of the love that she feels for her shishyas, she understands, she identifies with their problems. She identifies with the issues that her shishyas face. Love helps you to understand. So love and devotion, both ways, you can say is a means to knowledge, right? Love and devotion are a means to knowledge. Now that is just love and devotion. We're talking about mother guru, means we're talking about humans. But what about supreme devotion? This is just love and devotion. What about supreme devotion? Devotion to the supreme being. He comes to know Mam. Mam is the word. He comes to know me. Who is this me that Bhagwan is talking about? Is me Bhagwan Krishna who's driving the chariot? Is this Bhagwan Krishna who's a friend and sakha of Arjun? No. Bhagwan is saying, through this supreme devotion, you will come to know the supreme being, Krishna as the supreme being of the universe. Devotion, supreme devotion will lead to supreme knowledge of the supreme being. But let me understand and let you understand also, where is this supreme being? Who is this supreme being? Where is the supreme being? Is this supreme being anything different than our own highest self? Our Atma is the same as Brahma. There is no difference between that Supreme Being and that Supreme Self. That, I don't even like to say that is within us, that we are. And therefore, supreme devotion, mumukshutva, will take you closer and closer to the knowledge of the self. And that is how supreme devotion leads to supreme knowledge. Now, how does this happen? What is the actual adventure, you can say, where this love migrates and becomes supreme knowledge of the self, leading to self-realization? Think about it. When you are in love with someone, deeply in love with someone, how beautifully you identify with that person. Of course, I'm talking about the early stages of this human love. You consider yourself as one. You don't even feel the difference between each other. You know everything about each other. You don't need to speak. You automatically know what the other is feeling, what the other is saying, what the other is thinking. Everything is just like you are one, isn't it? Similarly, when the seeker experiences this supreme devotion, mumukshutva, this yearning for Bhagwan, and does all the sadhanas, 12-step process, then what happens? He starts feeling a closeness with the divine. Cannot be explained, it has to be experienced. Feel a closeness, get closer and closer to the divine. And when this closeness comes so near, you start identifying with the divine. You start feeling a oneness with the divine, and that clears the intellect. It cleans the intellect. And with this clarity of intellect, the knowledge of the divine flashes through the antakaran like lightning. And that makes you know, the word is tattvataha, in reality, makes you know who the divine is. That divine, who am I? What am I? Yavan, Ya Asmi. You know the true nature of divinity. You know the true nature of your own self. All this becomes crystal clear to that sadhak. He directly experiences his own self as divinity. He directly experiences his tattva, the essence that he truly is. And that's not all. He directly experiences that same divine tattva in every being. Every being, not just himself. If it were just himself, it would still be ahankar. There is no limit here. There is no name, no form. All forms are one. And what happens next? The adventure has to reach its culmination. What happens next? Tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. Knowing me truly like this, knowing me truly, he forthwith merges into my being. Bhagwan is giving you this guarantee. All notions of limitedness simply dissolve. All notions of separateness dissolve. All notions of differences dissolve. Then it's just one homogeneous consciousness, bliss, truth, existence. When a river enters the ocean, there is no river left. There is no separateness from the river and the ocean. The waters merge. The river merges into the ocean. Where is the river left? No river left, only ocean. So when you truly know Bhagwan through supreme devotion, you merge the jiva, the ego, the ahankar, the limited self, simply dissolves. No jiva left, only Brahma left. And this is Gyan through para bhakti. Para bhakti and param gyan both have the same goal, merging into the divine, becoming the divine. The goal is the same, and that is the purpose of human birth. Okay? So either through knowledge, you go to Param Bhakti, and Param Bhakti takes you to the knowledge of the self. It is a beautiful flow, a beautiful system, a beautiful truth that needs to be experienced by everyone. Okay? I'm going to leave you with this beautiful thought of merging and dissolving. And you can, for 1 week, what will you do to be able to reach this stage? It's no point in just dreaming of it. See, check those 4 traits that I talked about in the earlier shlok. How much of purity of mind have you reached? How many avguns are still left? How much are you grieving still about things of the past? How much are you still craving for things in the future? And how equipoised is your vision when you see other beings around you? These are the points which you need to introspect about and develop them to get the same love and compassion for all beings. Try it out. It's worth it, right? You'll be that river which merges into the ocean, the divine ocean, which is Brahma. I leave you with that happy thought. Oh, oh, oh. Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Shidarpanam. Jai Gurudev.